with Sokoto State. So look for that. See, varsities, police get others get TED Funds Intervention Fund. Varsities, polytechnics get TED Funds Intervention Fund. That is on page 6 of the Nation. This is history in schools curriculum, page 27. I know
this is overdue. In the first place, it is unacceptable coming from. History plays a very strategic role in the development of society, values and cultures. In fact, did you agree that's part of fundamentally what is wrong? Have you not wondered why Nigerians are becoming too docile as the day go by in the face of uncontrollable social vices and all manner of, inhuman crisis? Like a lady said recently, someone looking at this Christland crisis that popped up in Dubai, said, countries that fear God, how you know is that they will rise up and challenge the excesses of government. But what you have in Nigeria, people who fear their stomach. And I took that very instructive. So that's what the kind of role history plays. If it is the absence of history in our the inherent powers they have over the leaders, especially taught history, they would have been able to have an understanding of the mistakes. Because if you're able to appreciate the mistakes of the past, you won't tolerate leaders who tend to, from all indications, trying to repeat. Just before I left my home, I was talking with my wife at home. I said, look, people wrongly think Ojukwu and Gowon was brought to Biafra. That is not. That what attracted the military was, as the First Republic tend to this culture of self-serving value system, Nigerians started taking to the damn barracks. That was how the military started asking questions. And by the time Major Colonel Zogo they returned, they had a reason to start executing the members of the majority of the Northern. That was how it twisted coming from, and therefore stand firm not to tolerate those who want to promote a reputation, because it is a repetition of what led to the First Civil War. That is exactly what is staring us at the face now, that few elites in power tend to amass everything to themselves and their cronies and leave the majority to penury. That was what exactly the service, the removal of history had done to our young lads.
Yes, the removal of history. And we know that we are here where we are in this country today because some of us who, when we were younger, had the opportunity to hear and read about what Azikiwe and what Tafawa Balewa and what
Ahmadu Bello
and Harry Dapa Bidile and all that they did. And now you have a generation that is almost empty. Repetition. We are hoping that this will be rectified and more states will rescue of loved ones, families of kidnapped train passengers seek rescue of loved ones, including that baby that we saw his picture the other day.
Yeah.
That attention. Students slam ASU federal government. Strike. Yesterday, over the weekend, we have tried to get what the newspapers are saying, not just what we hear from the social media. We want to hear, as they would say, from the horse's mouth.
That's right.
What the ASU, what is the current state of thought in the ASU echelon, and we are hoping that latest on Thursday we'll be able to bring that to you on the station, so we can be sure from the ASU's point of view, because it's one thing to say they are always going to strike. What is the strike? The only option will be.
We have every reason to doubt, because first, it has not been established that he has officially moved from the PD. But if you look at the typical Nigerian politician, they tend to be very unpredictable. Here is a Mefele who 1 minute in one breath denied that if he didn't authorize anybody to buy form, that if he wants to contest, he has the capacity to buy his form. But the next minute we saw him running to the court in strong defense that he has every right to contest. The same fear now we have about former President Goodluck Jonathan, that while in one breath, we, from the angle that there is no report so to defend his interests and rights to obtain the form and also participate in the process. So that's just one tiny fear I have right now. But let's still leave it in the realm of speculation. Now that Nation front page is saying that he has not done. So let us believe that as a man of integrity, he has been able to display since 2015, and some of us have been pleading that he should fix his eye more on the global and honor he has brought to himself. That for as long as we are concerned, when placed side by side with going back to contest the Nigerian president, that far more outweighs, the honor. So I wish that someone would remind him once again that he should stick with
everybody in the vehicle was thanking God that he said, no, I didn't ask you to get a form. And there was this, you could find, I wish there's some way of letting President Goodluck Jonathan know that there is a thick call for him to abstain from anything. Well,
but again, it's unfair that instead of leaving majority of his well-wishers in the dark, he would have gone further to make an official statement to say, I am still a member of the PDP.
Yes.
Taking into account the level of his intelligence. But it's shocking that he's not coming forward to say, that's what others would have done, to say, I am still a member of the PDP.
That issue was also raised. The Nation says that former President Goodluck Jonathan on Monday night rejected the presidential nomination form obtained for him by a group, the Nomadic Herders and Amajeris community in Nigeria. He said he did not authorize any group to purchase the form for him. Nomadic Herders and Amajeri community.
I think some of these things are just functions of distraction. So, you know, Nigerians have been that clever to throw up when serious issues are before us. You see these dramas pop up to preoccupy our thinking, so we lose sight of the real issues. As long as our social crusade have come to learn that. So I will encourage the majority of Nigerians to focus more on asking the right questions. So far so good. Emefiele at the last time counting, he was the 25th aspirant. So far APC has raised 2.5 billion. If we add silver, by 100 million.
Yes, as at Sunday night
it was 24. Okay, so we're looking at 2.7 billion so far. So Nigerians should worry more about, does that amount to speaking to the issues? Should we all settle for just the mere purchasing of aspirant form? That is not what we see in other cities. Nigerians ask the real questions that will take us out of the woods.
Well, it's still, we're almost speaking as if we're on People's Parliament. We'll soon be there, but let's finish the newspaper review this morning. We have one more headline on The Nation. It says, broadcaster arranged for sharing Chrisland people's sex tape. A broadcaster has been arraigned for sharing Chrisland people's sex tape. Like we say, that's NTB. People have to be careful with information stuff like that. We have Daily Trust. The next paper we are taking is Daily Trust today, May 10, 2022, and it says, Sokoto, we shall be dealing with that sometime this week. We should be dealing with that sometime this week, latest early next week, depending on how we can get more information beyond what is reported. That is on the top left corner of Daily Trust. Next to that, we see aviation fuel. Airline operators to get 3 months supply at 480 per litre, says NNPC. We saw that report earlier in our newspaper. Then the main headline, confusion as Jonathan rejects. Even the paper puts reject in inverted commas, in quotation mark. Confusion as Jonathan